Hello everyone and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are continuing our Star Wars Ascendancy playthrough as the Imperial Remnant in Ascendancy 1.1 for Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. In the last episode, we got a fair bit of pushback from the Pentastar alignment, so we're trying to rebuild our forces right now and hopefully deal with that. We've taken a few of their planets while they were destroying our fleet, so it wasn't all a loss. But the PA has some pretty sizable fleets over here, and our fleets have been mostly wiped out. We do have a couple forces here, but as it is, we're in some pretty rough shape. So we're sort of regrouping over by our repair platforms here. We're pretty much at their capital, so we do have that going for us. But when we were trying to actually destroy it, we lost everything. So I'm trying to rebuild the fleet. We're going to see what we have here. We have 4 Crimson Commands, 2 VSD-1s, 17 MTCs, 1 Carrack, 4 Allegiance, and 2 ISDs. So we're actually going to try to grab a couple more... A couple more Carracks would probably be not the worst. We did also just take that planet here, Rung. We lost it to culture, but then we managed to grab it back, and ever since then we've actually been able to send our culture back out towards the New Republic planet here at Tinta and the PA planet here at Galanor, because we did a raid on Galanor and we took a lot of their infrastructure out. We just couldn't take the planet itself. We are 3rd for military, which is not ideal. 2nd for Empire, obviously colonization. We are behind the PA, same with culture, because they have so much territory. But with research, it says we're behind, but technically we're pretty far ahead. I'm not sure exactly how it calculates it, whether it's individual research items performed or it's a percentage of your total tree. Because if it's the latter, we'll never be ahead, because the regime trees are obviously very different with the IR than with the other factions. But let's go to work area. Let's see what we have each of these planets.
Altor actual reporting. Adjusting.
I want to build all of our fleet back up here.
Super Star Destroyer ready.
The MTCs we probably have more than enough of, so we won't need to get any Altors with our capital ships. I do want to get a couple torpedo spheres, and I wanted to focus a lot more on ISD-2s than Allegiances. The Allegiances have more direct firepower themselves, but they don't have any fighters, which is a problem. Ryan thingy. Rinmar over here. Do we not have HV guns on these planets?
All ahead full. Star Destroyer ready.
The other thing I do need to do is explore the planets. I don't think I've done that everywhere just yet. I believe I did it on a few places, but there's here, there's there, and there's there.
All stations on standby. Increase to flank.
All sections at your command, my lord.
We lost a lot of our Tonfalques as well. I don't know if we're going to build that many more of them. I think I'm going to swap some of those out in our fleet comp with... we're going to get additional Lancers, and we're going to get additional Carracks. Because we want the Ionic Disruption ability. Ooh, they have an ISD-1 coming in.
Moving to work area. All ahead full. Moving to work area. Lock weapons. Lancer frigate ready.
Let's get protect, repair, heal. Get 2 levels of repair. I really need to buff up the protect range.
Lancer frigate ready. Star Destroyer ready.
I did mention in the first videos that we have some significant changes to Yaltor abilities planned, because we want to make it a bit more useful. We kind of over-nerfed it after some of the changes we had to make in 1.1. With, like, in the 1.0 meta, there was way too much for the Imperial Remnant where people would build a bunch of allegiances and a couple altars, and they'd use the protect ability and just ruin everyone's day, because you could never actually get any damage off. Alright, so while they're doing this, I shouldn't be able to build those. But while they're doing this, let's go...
Maintenance Chief here. Secure all docking rings. Carrot Commander here.
Plotting jump coordinates.
Altor actual reporting. What are
I
your
want
orders?
everything to fly
Carrot
into
en
this
route.
area and hold position.
Dissident elements have arrived in our system. Destroyer reporting in. Carrot Commander here.
There we go.
Good day, Commander. Plotting jump
We'll fight in
coordinates.
our station.
Altor actual reporting. Damage control crews ready. Maintenance Chief here. Carrot Commander here. Destroyer reporting in.
I was about to ask how they got an allegiance, but that's ours.
Heavy cruisers standing by. Fire for effect.
Crap. I should not have had that detonated.
Secure all docking rings.
Well, you know what?
Moving to work area. All ahead.
It's not a bad ability. It's just not one I really use. It kind of feels bad to use that on a capital ship.
Reporting in.
But it was going to go down anyway, so...
All ahead full. Altor actual reporting. Secure all docking rings. Moving to sector. An
Do we have a
Imperial
third
fleet
one?
attack.
No.
Captain here. Engine to full.
Well, we're jumping in. We're going to be able to do this pretty
Super Star Destroyer ready.
cleanly, it
Destroyer
looks
here.
like.
Deploying to sector.
Because they're not
En route.
running back to
Command.
defend.
Lock weapons.
They captured a lot of the New Republic's capital ships.
Moving to work area. All gun crew.
Do we have any more Lancers? No, we don't. The Cardin Station's doing a lot of work here.
Plotting jump coordinates.
All ahead full.
Oh, I didn't realize we built any sort of
Moving
frigate
to sector.
stations here. Or, not frigate stations. Any sort of
Plotting
shipyards
jump
here.
coordinates.
Reporting.
We're still third. A lot of fighters. It's all fighters.
Our supporting fleet is moving to attack.
So let's actually get rid of
Plotting
those.
jump coordinates.
Let's just get a bunch of Lancers here. And then we'll get the other stuff.
Comlink active.
Gun batteries ready.
There was an ability that fighters used, that Lancers used to have, which would
Moving to sector.
periodically wipe out fighters around them.
Comlink active.
which we removed because it was getting too easy to destroy the fighters. But I think we're going to put something similar back in. Instead of having it be an AoE burst that kills everything, though, we'll likely have it be an AoE burst that only destroys a certain amount of fighters around them.
Lancer frigate ready.
Because they're very easy to kill, the anti-fighter things. But, so it means it's a bit less effective at doing its job, which is a big part of why the PA jumped ahead a little bit. Even with some of the nerfs we gave them, why they're still fairly effective, or still disproportionately effective with their fighters. Like, we want them to be pretty effective with their fighters, but they're a bit ahead of that. Because their strength is supposed to be how many fighters they have, but right now it's also just how many ships they have in general, and then the fighters become harder to deal with than they're actually supposed to be. But
increase the flank.
That's one of the things that we are trying to address in the upcoming patch.
What now?
And like any balance thing, it'll probably take a few iterations to get right, which is why we wanted to have more common patches or more regular patches than we ultimately ended up having for this dev cycle. But hopefully we'll be able to get some other stuff out when
all sections at your command, my lord.
We're working on 1.2, because 2.2 for Imperial Civil War should be coming out relatively soon. And that's been a big reason why we haven't been able to focus on Ascendancy as much, because I've been pretty busy with ICW, and then Bane's been pretty busy with Star Trek Armada 3 and Age of the Federation, which they announced recently. So at some point, relatively soon, when I get back from Scotland probably, Bane and I are going to need to have a sit down and talk about some of our other goals, both for the patch and for slightly longer term. We're going to be planning out the Hapens, obviously, because they're the next faction, but just talking more generally about balance is another one of the things we're going to need to do. Or anything else we want to work on in the context of the 4 factions that already exist. So, not just balance, but like other features we want to work into, other mechanics.
All sections at your command, my lord.
Anything that isn't necessarily related to the new factions. We might even start working on the Siruvi, just some of the base work for them, not... Because they're going to be released after the Hapens, it won't be the same release. I think we did the New Republic and Imperial Remnant together, then we did the Hapens and Empire of the... Or not the Hapens and Empire of the Empire of the Hand and Pentastar Element together. And then we're only going to do one faction at a time now. It makes it a lot easier for both balancing and to actually get the content out. Especially because the Hapens and the Siruvi are both going to require a lot more work. Because we really had a lot of the work done already for the other 4 factions because of Imperial Civil War. A lot of the models were redone, like all the Mon Calamari models that we have in Ascendancy were made specifically for Ascendancy and made after we started the mod.
Commander on deck.
But we still had like all the Star Destroyers. We had a good base to work off of, which with the Havens we have to not only make the assets, but we have to design a lot of the assets, which makes it significantly more difficult.
Super Star Destroyer ready.
And it'll be a lot more time consuming.
Ready for battle.
And one of the things you always have to keep in mind with mod development, which a lot of mods really don't seem to, even us earlier on, is that you never know when you're going to have to stop. Okay, that needs to stop right now. That's one of the particles that really needs to get removed from the mod overall. It's one of the base game's Advent ones. There we go. Bye-bye, PA.
Sections at your command, my lord.
Because we are doing only Capital Victory. But that is one of the things that
all ahead full.
Mods rarely seem to think about, is that
work area.
you want to plan as much as you can, as far ahead as you can, and we have like several releases worth of content that we'd like to do. But realistically, you have to think about like, well, what if we can't do it all? Do we have all that time to commit to it? Because you can't really turn it into a career. Like, I've tried to sort of subsidize my modding by doing the YouTube stuff, but you never know exactly how far you're going to be able to get. You never know how many people you're going to have on the team. So we've gone a lot more modular in how we structure the mod releases, at least planning to go forward. Like ICW 2.2 is such a huge rework, and we don't want to fall into that trap again, where development for that has taken 4 years, and it's really hard to think of a way that you could say I'm going to be able to commit for this for another 4 years, which like ideally you'd like to be able to say that, but you've got to think about making content that you can make in a shorter period of time, and then even if you're going to plan further beyond that, say like this chunk is what we do first, this chunk is what we do second, you have to prioritize like that. Otherwise, even within the context of one release, you are going to overcomplicate it. You're going to introduce more problems by trying to do that, and you're going to delay the releases by doing that. For example, one of the things that we are doing with Imperial Civil War is we want to redo a lot of the space maps. So we want to redo and land maps, but just using space for this example. We're using right now we have like 120 some odd space maps, and we want to redo all the backgrounds. We want to redo all the sky domes, all the planet models, all that stuff, and we want to have a slightly smaller set of more distinct, more interesting maps, and that is something that we could technically like chalk in for 2.2, but that would make the mod take longer. It would be something that we would have to redo in 2.3 because there's a bunch of different assets that we would need to do for 2.2 if we wanted to include that particular aspect. And we've already done a fair bit of upgrading to the maps that are present, but it's not quite as much as we want to. Like if you look at any of the videos I've done for 2.2 versus what you can see in 2.1, it is very different. But we're trying to sort of section off the content into this is the most important thing, this is the most doable thing, and we're trying to group stuff together into
Cruiser ready.
Sort of similar sized chunks for each department.
Increase to flank.
We're gonna move in here. Hopefully that made sense. I'm recording this at like 6 a.m. and I'm going to ramble a little bit more than I usually do. I'm about to watch the League of Legends World Championship too. Oh, hello New Republic. I think this is the first time we've actually fought the New Republic in this whole game. We just got to get through Terrafon and Cheetah. It seems like the PA did quite a good job fighting back the New Republic, so I don't think it's going to be too difficult. They do have a fairly big navy. It's bigger than ours, but we've got our stuff together fairly well. There's still a pretty big PA navy somewhere in the galaxy, but I want to get these guys going over there.
Scout ready. Moving to sector.
Plotting jump coordinates.
Hyperspace jump complete.
Plotting jump coordinates.
Moving to sector.
Not that bad, actually.
What now? I'm on it.
I mean, it's not a tiny fleet, but it's not a big fleet. I don't think they have the Viscount. I don't remember seeing a notification for it. Which doesn't mean they don't have it, but I'm pretty sure I would have noticed that.
Attack!
The Mon Calamari models we have look so much better in Sims than in EAW. They're one of the things we're probably going to have to do significant reworking of. I mean, if we have the resources to, but... It's not that they're bad, it's just that they're lower poly than we can probably get away with. Like, we can probably use 2, maybe even 3 times as many polys as we ended up using on all the Mon Calamari models.
Damage control crews ready. Hold them off.
And like higher res skins, but yeah, I'm gonna stop using that ability.
Yes, Commander. At once.
Oh, that was their capital. I didn't realize that. No, that wasn't their capital. They just surrendered.
Super Star Destroyer ready. At once.
Alright, well, let's go to their capital. And can we track down the PA fleet? I think we destroyed enough of the NR fleet that we are now second.
Scout ready. Scout ready. Scout ready. Moving to work area.
Plotting jump coordinates.
Let's fight their stuff.
Scout ready. Scout ready.
I actually have a lot of Hajines over here for some reason.
Scout ready.
I really like the idea behind the escape pods, but they don't really do their job as well as we'd like just yet.
Got a job.
We're probably going to make them invulnerable for a little while, but
Scout ready.
I don't even know if their ultimate effects are that good.
Scout ready.
We could probably tie them into the veterancy system a little bit better as well, where they can, or at all, where they can give some of the similar buffs and then just add a veterancy stack. That would be probably worthwhile.
Super Star Destroyer ready.
Scout ready.
All batteries commence firing.
Alright, that's all going to be destroyed. Let's see if we can track down that EA fleet. 83 seconds ago, nothing. 65 seconds ago, not too much. There's some of it.
New actual reporting. Scanners to full.
Some at Hapes. It seems to just be little groups spread across the galaxy. So,
Super Star Destroyer.
I guess we've won. So thank you for watching, everyone. We're just going to leave this here. We won the GC, or not GC, but let's actually take a look at the graph. So the PA wasn't that far ahead in credits. Their upkeep costs were pretty significant. Yeah, the NR and PA were pretty much on par with credits. They got a bit of a bonus because they're AI on hard, but trade ships. The New Republic was pretty much held back by how little territory they had as well. So let's see what they had. Use ship slots. They had quite a bit. Then we took them down a lot. So that fleet must have been most of what they had. The PA fleet, they still have a lot of it. I guess it's all just so spread out. Doesn't look like we even really touched them. But capital ships. Oh, the PA had a lot of capital ships and then we destroyed a lot of those. It wasn't so much the frigates that they had that we destroyed in that fight. Structures. Look at combat. Starbase is destroyed. The PA did 1. Or did 4. I guess the New Republic had a couple Empresses around because we only built, as far as I can remember, the one at Charuba. And we didn't lose it. Strikecraft destroyed. 171. Squads, rather. New Republic did quite a bit on the strikecraft there. Frigates destroyed. Wow, the PA was really wrecking both of us. Capital ships destroyed. That was mostly mine that was lost. Do they not show how many things you lost? Damage done. Okay, well that's not what I was looking for. Alright, well, that is going to do it for today, so thank you so much for watching the playthrough, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it, and hope you've enjoyed hearing about some of what we've got coming up in 1.15. I'm going to try, it depends on how busy I am this month, which I'm going to be really busy, but there's some work I want to get done on 1.15, and then I'd like to have a playthrough showing off some of the changes, if not all of them. by the end of the month, but the problem is I'm leaving on the 19th for 10 days, which means I need to get it both finished and recorded in the next 2 weeks. So I don't know if that's going to be feasible, but I'm going to do my best. Either way, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.